of our divine journey through the sacred literature, Sathyam, Shivam, Sundaram reading. Let us begin this blessed session with 3 Oms followed by Gayatri Mantra. Om. 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 Swaha तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः.
Om Sairam. While at Badri, Baba had written a letter to the Bhaktas at Prashanti Nilayam. Be always remembering the Lord. Recite His name, writing it or uttering it, or meditating on it, turning over a rosary with it, or worshipping an idol or image with it. That's constant dwelling with the name of God is itself all the holy places, all the sacred tiltas, all the famous shrines. When the mind has thus been sublimated, the full glory of Badri shines in it. The pilgrimage to Badri is a waste of time and energy if the mind has not been duly tamed. So do not worry that you are there and others are here. Narayana is inside you, is beside you, with you. Why then delude yourself with the pursuit of an unseen Narayana? Be steadfast, be full of enthusiasm, be ever joyful. In fact, Puttapati is itself Badrinath. For those who have the eyes to see and the knowledge to recognize, let us therefore install him in our hearts, or rather, let us realize that he is there already, directing us per his plan, our every thought, word, and deed. And let us, with the full conscious of the good fortune, be of quiet content. Chapter 16, for you and me. He has come, Dattatreya, Dakshina Murti, Dhanavantari, all in one, as loving as the mother, as strong as the father, as wise as the guru, all seeing as God. And so we have come to the last pages of this book, dear reader. You and I hope you become more interested in the pilgrimage that everyone has perforce to undertake to the seat of God. Baba has spent so far only 35 years in the human frame, and he has assured us that he would inhabit it for over 60 years more. During Dasara 1961, he said that he had just started the work for which he has come. Therefore, subsequent chapters of the life of Bhagwan Satya Sai Baba are bound to be even more inspiring and elevating. May an ever increasing number of brothers and sisters gather to draw the inspiration and practice that Upadesh. The golden age of human redemption is here. The splendor of its dawn had already filled the heart of the eastern horizon with the golden glory. Mankind is awake. The sun will circle the entire world. I came, Baba says, because the good men of the world, the saintly, the wise, the sadhu, the sadhaka, the guru, and godly panted for me. May the pure and the righteous rejoice. The wicked and the false, the cowardly, and the cruel may also rejoice, for me in his mercy will nurse them back into the holy path. Baba one day said, if I close the door against the sinful, the fallen, and the red gate, where else can they go? You and I have no excuse now to be content with only maps and guidebooks and to consult the case histories of famous invalids who killed themselves, or to pore over tomes that compound the brain. He has come, the Tatreya, Dakshinamurti, the Navantari, all in one, as loving as the mother, as strong as the father, as wise as the guru, as all seeing as God. And what does he ask of us? To start this very moment, the discipline needed for the good life, the sadhana to sublimate the impulses and the instincts. With that offering shall we approach him. Not even the patram, pushpam, palam, and toyam hitherto prescribed as the minimum. No offer satya, dharma, shanti, prema, or at least the effort to attain this four, or any one of the four. Sincerity is a struggle to improve. That is enough. Offer is patram of the body. The mano pushyam, pregnant with humility. The idraya palam, rise with tapas and sweet with the rasam of daya danam and the toya of tears welling out of ananda. This is enough, says Baba. May he, the source, the stream, and the sea, the all-pervasive, all-inclusive, all-animating, Satyam Shivam Sundaram, vouchsafe to us all the strength and the steadiness to journey towards him. Thanksgiving. The author wishes to convey his respectful thanks to the members of the Ratna Karam Raju family at Puttaparthi, especially to Sri Pedavenkapa Raju and Sri Seshama Raju for giving him many significant details of Baba's early years. He also owes much to the teachers of the Bukhapatnam and Uravakonda schools and to devotees from Kamalapuram and large number of devotees from Bangalore, Madras and other places who readily responded to his requests for information. About SSTP, on the 1st January 2009, Sri Satya Sai Sadhana Trust commenced operation before division, the Bhakta Sahayak division, one in Prashanti Nilayam, Puttaparthi, and another in Brindavan, Bangalore. The publication division, the media division. The publication division caters to the publication and distribution of spiritual, religious, and educational science literature and the production of and distribution of audio and visual multimedia, photographs, calendars, and diaries, educational software, etc., for the benefit of visiting pilgrims and devotees all over the world. All the literature and publication are based on the teachings, philosophy, message, and values of Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba. The publication and distribution of Bhagwan Baba's monthly spiritual journey, Sanatana Sarati in English and Telugu languages. Since 2011, e-version of the magazines are also released simultaneously and are available in PDF and EPUB formats on www.sanatanasarati.org. Maintaining a reporting channel which covers all the major activities taking place in Prashanti Nilayam and publishing an e-newsletter, Sai Spiritual Showers, for free distribution. Organizing and conducting seminars and conferences on spirituality, religion, education, and human values. Providing a library and reading room for visiting devotees with a very large collection of various spiritual and religious books. Other books by SSSSTPD in English: Sai Satya Shaka, Shrama Showers in Brindavan, 1972. Satyopanishad, Satyopanishad 2, Gurudev, Namasmarana, Bhakti and Help, Life is Love and Joy, Life is a Challenge, Meet It, Life is a Dream, Realize It, Bhagwan and Bhakta, Body and Mind, My Dear One, Sevadar, Silence, Suffering, Surrender, Atma, do you know, Gopikas of Brindavan, Gratitude, my beloved ones, Only Love, Purity, Memoirs of a Sai student, A Journey to Self-Peace, Dharma, Guru, Karma, Life, Meditation, Peace, Simple Truth, Nama Mahima, divine vibrations, guidelines to active workers, Sri Satya Sai Ananda Dai, truth, auspiciousness, beauty, Sai Baba's Mahavakya on leadership, path to peace, prayers for life. And then there's a lot. You want me to read this?
No, we can continue with volume 2.
Okay, let me see if I can see volume 2 in that. Sorry.
That's okay. I can start. That's
Okay, so if you want, you can start. I will download it. I can.
okay. Yeah,
Okay.
no problem. Volume 2, Resume, 1926 to 1961. His playmates called him Guru, preceptor, for he was always correcting them and consoling them. He confronted them in distress and never seemed to get across or tired. He was a liberal giver even at that age, for he pulled out of empty bags delectable sweets, pencils, pieces of eraser, toys, flowers, and fruits for them. A ring of pink brown hills, a broad deep valley with a river cutting through and emptying into a tank built by an emperor about 600 years ago. That is the milieu where the village of Puttaparthi nestles. It was the seat of a chieftain who ruled over the surrounding area in the past. Later, it became desolate and isolated, but the soil continued to be the nursery of saints and scholars. The family of the chieftain, the Rajus, continued to lead and guide, to teach and train the village youth. Kondamaraju was a saintly centenarian who built a temple for Satyabhama, the temperamental consort of Lord Krishna.
He was proficient in the ancient texts and scriptures. His eldest son was named by him after a famous recluse who adorned the family tree. Venka Avaduta, Venka, who had given up all attachment to earthly things, he called him Venkapa Raju. The son married a distant relation, a daughter who was born after the construction of a temple by her father to Shiva, under the appellation Ishwara, and so named Ishwaramba. They were a pious couple, quiet and contented. The only recreation Venkama Raju allowed himself was playing epic roles in the village stage, just as his father, Kundamaraju, did. They had a son and two daughters. Then on November 21st, 1926, was born another son, Satyanarayana, who proved quite soon that he was uniquely divine in nature and attainments. His playmates called him Guru, preceptor, for he was always correcting them and consoling them. He comforted them in distress and never seemed to get cross or tired. He was a liberal giver even at that age, for he pulled out empty bags, delectable sweets, pencil pieces of eraser, toys, flowers, and fruits for them. When asked how he got them, he answered, "Oh, the village goddess gives me what I want." That was only to slake their thirst. That was the only answer which would quieten their doubts, but the wonder remained. It increased when he was put to school. There he acquired a new nickname, Brahma Yagni. Brahmayani.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It meant one who has acquired the wisdom that reveals the inner reality. What a name for a boy of 6 summers. At the age of 8, Satyanarayana decided to reveal his mystery by a dramatic miracle when he was ordered by his teacher to stand upon the bench for listlessness in the classroom. He willed that the teacher stick to the chair until he stepped down from the bench. It happened so, and he became the talk of the region. He was simple and sweet in spite of all this publicity. He formed a prayer group of boys in his village and led them from place to place, caroling the hymns he wrote and taught. He was an adept at dance and music as well as in the histrionic art. Nay, his talents were used even by theatrical companies that hold the countryside. He had the temerity to write songs for them and for himself, and even stretches of dialogues when he was barely 12. He accompanies his elder brother to Kamalapur and Uravakunda, where the brother served as a teacher of the Telugu language at school in those places. Satyanarayana stood head and shoulders above even the teachers, for he shone as a poet, playwright, scout, sportsman, and songster of extraordinary standards of excellence. He had also the mysterious power of tracing lost property, reading others' thoughts, seeing far into the future and deep into the past. He became the pet of the town and was much sought after by the distressed and the downtrodden. He sat through the first years of the high school course and was but a few weeks in the second year class when the call of the task which had brought him among men could no longer be ignored by him. He had already found it hard to clothe his majesty in the petty rigmarole of home and school. One on a picnic with his brother and others among the ruins of the ancient capital of Vijayanagara Empire, Hampi. He was seen by them as Ishwara, and just where the Ishwara idol was installed in the Virupaksha temple. On the 8th day of March 1940, he could not but leave the body and go to the succor of a devotee in dear distress. This was misunderstood by his brother and others as scorpion sting or a bite, or a snake bite, or a fainting fit, or an attack of hysteria. Doctors, of course, could not diagnose it right. Quacks and sorcerers were tried. They guessed wrong. They only tortured him and proved that the boy could suffer great pain and remain steady and unruffled. At last, in the village of Puttapati, on the 23rd day of May 1940, while scattering gifts into the outstretched arms of all who came, Baba declared that he was Sai Baba, come again to save humanity from downfall. He asked them to worship him every first day as the first installment of spiritual discipline. Back at Urava Konda, even while attending school, Satyanarayana was worshipped as Sai Baba, the saint of Shirdi, come again according to the promise he had made at Shirdi. Manchiraju, Tamiraju, the teacher who loved Satyanarayana more than any other member of the staff, had written these first days how Sai Baba had his pupil gave to those who gathered for congregational prayer, sacred ash, or other curative gifts of grace, like a piece of the Girwa gown that Sai Baba wore at Shildi. The saint had entered the tomb in 1980 that he got by a mere wave of the hand. Hundreds used to flock around him and interrogate him on all kinds of subjects, but he replied calmly and correctly. He went on Mahashivratri, a holiday dedicated to the worship of Shiva, to a Shiva temple outside Uravakunda with a few companions, including Tamiraju Sundaram, and the youth were outstanding to find a stream of effulgence flowing from Satyanarayana towards the idol of Shiva and underflowing from Shiva to Satyanarayana. One Thursday, he informed the wife of Kashi Batula Ramamurti, I've placed a picture in your shrine, go and worship it. She hurried thither with some neighbors and opening the locked doors and the closed window shutters, jumped tight to prevent the entry of monkeys. She found a picture of Sai Baba Shirdi inside the shrine of her home. He introduced or created such pictures inside many a home during those years, pictures which gave the people the first acquaintance of the Shirdi saint. Tamir Raju's experiences were amazing. Satyanarayana came into his house one evening and showed him on the wall of his modest home, as in a movie, the secret form of the 10 incarnation of the Lord. Beside life, like portraits of many sages and saints mentioned in the sacred scriptures. His wife was so moved by the uplifting experience that she wrote a poem on it in Telugu. It was published in the Sai Sudha magazine of Madras. Another day, Satyanarayana gave him a picture of Shirdi Baba in an outstanding new way. A bumblebee entered his room through an open window, which something rolled, held fast by its legs. It dropped it and flew off. The paper was unrolled. It was a picture of Shirdi Lord. A few days later, a monkey perching on a window outside his room threw a small bundle of cloth into it. When the bundle was opened, Tamil Raju writes it was found to contain a bowl of sweets and a letter from Satyanarayana, who was away at Puttaparthi. And what did the letter say? The other day I sent you with the bumblebee my picture. Today I'm sending hereway prasadam for you. Others too had amazing experiences of the divine powers of the teenage Baba, but he was binding the moment for full manifestation and final declaration. October 20th, 1940 was the day he chose. Returning sooner than usual from school that day, he threw his book outside the door of his brother's house, and when his sister in law came out to discover what the cause of the noise was, she was astonished to hear him say, I do not belong to you. I'm leaving. I've work to do. Then he stepped down and took the road. Those devoted to me are calling me. The task for which I came is yet unfinished. I'm starting now, he said, and walked off vigorously. He was accosted by the learned Pandit Narayana Sastri, the neighbor, who ran up and tried to stop him. He was half afraid of the boy, for he had called him out one day when he was expounding a difficult Sanskrit text and corrected his interpretation. This time, when he expostulated with the boy, he saw a halo around his head and was rendered mute. The brother too failed to make him retrace his steps. Satyanarayana told him, the illusion is gone. I'm no more yours, I'm Sai Baba. Baba proceeded to garden around the house of the inspector of excise, for it was extensive and open. He sat under a tree on a rock with the whole town around him. Immediately, he inaugurated the bhajan that was to progress so quickly and dramatically in every nook and corner of this vast land, revolutionizing the habits and attitudes, nature, and character of hundreds of thousands. The very first song which he taught to arouse the mass of humanity was an invitation to surrender to the feet of the Guru, who was so mercifully appeared. Who had so mercifully appeared. It also contained a lesson that Baba had always emphasized since then, that bhajan or reverential adoration must be a mental upsurge, not an oral exercise. It ran thus: Manap Sabajare Guru Charanam, Dastara Bhavasa Guru Taranam, Garataranam. O you seekers, worship the feet of the Guru with all your mind. You can thus cross the ocean of grief and joy and birth and death. Sai Baba returned to Puttaparthi, or rather was brought there by the parents. They prayed to him not to leave the village. Now every day became a Thursday, and large groups of people gathered to have his darshan and blessings. Baba spent most of the time at the village in the house of the Brahmin Karnam, hereditary village accountant of the village, where the aged Subama served the pilgrims with care and love. He granted many people their wishes, which ranged from a vision of Dwarakamai, ruined mosque where Sahib Baba spent his days at Shildi, to the cure of an ulcer or an ache. He sat on most evening among the devotees on the sands of the Chitra, Chitravati river, and created from the sun images, pictures, idols, sweets, and fruits. He climbed the hills around the vouchsafed to the groups below, vision of the splendor and effulgence associated with Shiva, Narayana, Kumara Swami, and other forms of God. He plucked from the branches a tamarind tree growing on the hill apples, mangoes, figs, bananas, and grapes and distributed them to the devotees. He showed them himself as Krishna or as any one of the 10 incarnations of Vishnu or Shiva. He also gave guidance to many who were struggling along the hard path of spiritual sadhana. For example, they came to Puttaparthi, a lay monk whose attainment were too popular vows. He could not speak out, but would only write what he had to say and would not wear clothes. Baba saw through this exhibitionist asceticism. He requested him either to retire into the forest for sadhana. He assured him that he would ensure his food and shelter even there, and save his devotees the ignominy and burden or to resume talk or wear clothes, which were not handicaps to the spiritual effort. This incident happened when Baba was scarcely 16. People felt that this was the task of whom upon which he had come, correcting and guiding erring men. One devotee had run deeply into debt, and so he decided to escape into Burma or Malaya. Then he went to Madras Harbour to purchase a ticket for the journey. His pocket was picked penniless. He returned to his hotel. There was a letter from Baba on the table advising him, commanding him, in fact, to return and brave it out. He did and is today quite happy with his wife and child, whom he had decided to desert. How did Baba know his address at Madras? Hearing that Sai Baba had come again, many who had been to Shildi and many who had lost all hopes of contacting the saint hastened to Puttaparthi. They took him to Hyderabad, Bangalore, Madras, Kurur, Tiruchirappalli, and Udumalpet. Rajas and zamindar, riots and clerks, doctors and lawyers thronged the house of Subama and later the tiny little mandir that she and others built for Baba. Baba was now 20 of age. His elder brother, Shrestha Maraju, the teacher of Telugu, could not quite grasp the mystery of this phenomenon. He watched with increasing consternation and genuine fraternal love the procession of cars that came in the right bank of the river and took his simple village gown brother away into the city that glitters beyond the horizon, full of temptation and pitfalls. A few pressed comment that rose from ignorance pained him. So he wrote a letter to his brother, warning him and imparting to him the lesson that he had learned in life about society and human foibles, about fame and its attendant pitfalls. The reply that Sai Baba wrote to him on the 25th May 1947 is in my possession. It is a document that reveals Baba's unmistakable terms, so I must allow you to have it. To all who are devoted to me, through the letter was written by the brother, the reply is addressed to all, including you and me. For it is essential that you and I should know the real nature of the phenomenon that appeared for our sake. My dear one, I received a communication that you wrote and signed. I found in it the surging flood of your devotion and affection with the undercurrents of doubt and anxiety. Let me tell you that it is impossible to plumb the heart and discover the natures of jnanis, yogis, ascetics, saints, sages, and the like. People are endowed with a variety of characteristics and mental attitudes, so each one judges according to his own angle, talks and argues in the light of his own nature. But we have to stick to our own path, our own wisdom, our own resolution without getting affected by popular appraisal. As the proverb says, it is only the fruit laden tree that receives the shower and stone from passers by. The good always provoke the bad into calumny. The bad always provoke the good into derision. This is the nature of the world, of this world. One must be surprised if such things do not happen. The people, too, have to be pitied rather than condemned. They do not know. They have no patience to judge right. They are too full of lust, anger, and conceit to see clearly and know fully, so they write all kinds of things. If only they know they should not talk or write like that. We, too, should not attach any value to such comments and take them to heart as you seem to do. Truth will certainly triumph one day. Untruth can never win. Untruth might appear to overpower truth, but its victory will fade away and truth will establish itself. It is not the way of the great to swell when people offer worship and shrink when people scoff. As a matter of fact, no sacred text lays down rules to regulate the lives of a great, prescribing the habits and attitudes that they must adopt. They themselves know the path they must tread. The wisdom regulates and makes the acts holy, self reliance, beneficial activity. These two are their special marks. They may also be engaged in the promotion of the welfare of devotees and in anointing them the fruits of their actions. Why should you be affected by doubt and worry, so long as I'm adhering to this too? After all, the praise and blame and of the populace do not touch the Atma, the reality. They can only touch only the outer physical frame. I have a task to foster all mankind and to ensure for all of them lives full of Ananda. I have a vow to lead all who stray away from the straight path again into goodness and save them. I'm attached to a work that I love, to remove the sufferings of the poor and grant them what they lack. I have a reason to be proud, for I rescue all who worship and adore me. All right. My definition of the devotion, I expect that those devoted to me have to treat joy and grief, gain and loss with equal fortitude. This means that I will never give up those who attach themselves to me. When I am thus engaged in my beneficial task, how can my name be ever tarnished as you apprehend? I would advise you not to heed such absurd talk. Mahatmas do not acquire greatness through someone calling them so. They do not become small when someone calls them so. Only those low ones who revel in opium and ganja can claim to be unexcelled yogis. Only those who quote scriptures texts to justify their gourmandry and pride, only these are dry as dust, scholars exulting in their casuistry and argumentative skills are moved by praise or blame. You must have read life stories of saints and divine personages. In those books, you must have read of even worse falsehood, even heinous imputation cast against them. This is the lot of Mahatmas everywhere at all times. Why then do you take these so much to heart? Have you not heard of dogs that howl at the stars? How long can they go on? Authenticity will soon win. I will not give up my mission or my determination. I know I will carry them out. I treat the honor and dishonor, the fame and blame that may be the consequence with equal equanimity. Internally, I'm concerned. I act, but in the outer world, I talk and move for the sake of the outer world and for announcing my coming to the people, else I have no concern even with this. I do not belong to any place. I'm not attached to any name. I have no mine or thine. I answer whatever the name you use. I go wherever I am taken. This is my very first vow. I have not disclosed this to any so far. For me, the world is something far apart. I act and move only for the sake of mankind. No one can comprehend my glory, whoever he is, whatever his method of inquiry, however long his attempt. You can yourself see the full glory in the coming years. Devotees must have patience and forbearance. I'm not concerned. Nor am I anxious that this fact should be made known. I have no need to write these words. I wrote them because I felt you will be pained if I do not reply. Thus, yours, Baba. What a letter this! It is an epistle, a parting of the curtain to give us a quick glimpse of the God in this human frame.
Thank you, Sister Ratna, for the beautiful rendition.
Thank you.
Shri Saram. No wonder hundreds flock to the village of Puttaparthi to have the darshan of Sai Baba and to derive the benefits that the grace of God can bestow on the meek, the lowly, and the distressed. The mandir built in the village to supersede the tiny room next to Subama's house had also to be changed. The festivals of Navratri and Shivratri attracted tens of thousands, especially the later, since symbols the Shiva that he is, formed themselves in him and emerged at the sacred hour, which the scriptures declare as auspicious and significant. Devotees took delight in arranging processions through the streets of the village every day during the Navratri or the festival of nine nights. So, a site was chosen outside the village and a spacious prayer hall cum residence was constructed. Baba named it Prashanti Nilayam, the abode of the highest peace, for he, the source, the sustainer, and sustenance of that peace, had that as his visible abode. From this Nilayam, the message that every man's heart must be transmuted into a Prashanti Nilayam is radiating in all directions, and the discipline necessary for this alchemy is being taught with sympathy and understanding to all mankind. Baba refers to himself as Sai Baba and to the Sai Baba of Shirdi as my previous body. He speaks of his having come down like Rama and Krishna for the restoration of truth and morality, peace and love among mankind, for instilling faith in God among men who deny him through pride and ignorance, and for saving the good from the talons of the bad. He had announced that till the age of 16, he would be mostly engaged in sportive pursuits, and from then on, until the age of 32, he would be drawing people to him by means of mahimas or miracles. For as he has so often said, without these visiting cards, no one can gauge even a fraction of his glory. I shall give you what you want so that you may want what I have come to give, is what Baba said at Shirdi while in his previous body. These miracles range from revealing to those who go to him their past and future to shaping their future as he wills it to be. By a wave of his hand, he changes empty air into sacred ash, sweets, images, idols, flowers, fruits, books, bowls, rosaries, crucifixes, drugs, dolls, in short, all things that man is accustomed to, as well as many that he has not known. If I had come amongst you as Narayana with four arms holding the conch, the wheel, the mace, and the lotus, you would have kept me in a museum and charged a fee for those who sought darshan. If I had come as a mere man, you would not have respected my teachings and followed it for your own good. So I have to be in this human form with suprahuman wisdom and powers. Baba has said, Baba is every moment the spiritual guide, which is his prime role. Though he had said that he would begin his Upadesh teaching only when he reached his 32nd year. He was too full of kindness to wait until then to remove the ignorance of men, ignorance that was leading them on to war and ruin. Since 1947, Baba has emerged as the great teacher of the people. That year, he presided over the All India Divine Life Conference at Venkatagiri, and all those who heard him, monk or scholar or literature riot or industrialist, young or old, man or woman, were moved by a strange exhilaration into the new world of the spirit. Thereafter, Swami Sadananda, the author of a commentary on Patanjali's Yoga Sutra and other valuable books, as well as Swami Sachidananda, followed him for months and persuaded him to visit Rishikesh and Kashmir, Delhi, Mathura, and Brindavan. They had the good fortune to witness some astounding miracles and hear many satisfying interpretations of religious doctrines and spiritual discipline, which they spread enthusiastically among those who contacted them. Baba made them his instruments for announcing his advent. In fact, every person who came to him either for getting some physical illness cured, or getting over some secular handicap, or to be helped over spiritual steel, which he could not negotiate, became a loud herald of the tidings that a divine phenomena has appeared in human form, inviting all with sweetness and love to receive from him joy and peace, security and liberation. In February 1958, on the sacred occasion of Shivratri, Baba inaugurated a monthly magazine to convey his teachings into every home. A magazine which he named Sanatana Sarathi, the timeless, ever present charioteer, intent on taking us to the goal of peace, everlasting Prashanti. This magazine is published in English and many languages other than the Telugu original. It has brought Baba into thousands of homes and hearts. It has also been the vehicle for a series of books from the divine pen, as well as for the inimitably wise and simple discourses that Baba gave in the cities and villages. He deigned to visit at the request of devotees. The revival of Dharma, the regulated life of the spirit affecting every detail of the process of living, with liberation from the consequences of ignorance always in view, is the evolved purpose of all incarnations of the divine. Baba too has come for the same task. The revival of scriptural studies, of classical modes of prayer, of temple ritual, of simple living, and high thinking of piety and virtue. These are all the items in the program for uplift that Baba has burdened himself with. His visits to the ancient temples of Ayodhya, Varanasi, and Badrinath were for charging the batteries that had gone weak, he said. These are but stray examples of his overwhelming love for mankind. His ministration to the sick, the insane, the desperate, and the downtrodden, and his extracorporeal journeys to save men from calamity or to bless them at the moment of departure from the physical cage. Proclaim his mission of Bhakta Rakshana, guarding the good. His touch, his word, the very sight of him has opened a new chapter in the lives of many a sinner, miser, and atheist, idler, agnostic, and ascetic. The revised edition of the first volume of this book, published in 1961, gives the divine life of Sri Satya Sai Baba until the epoch making visit to Badrinath. I am thankful for this chance to continue the purifying record in the second part of the same book, for which the only fit title is Satyam Shivam Sundaram, for his nature and his reality are truth, light, and beauty. Satchit and Ananda, existence, awareness, and bliss. The sugar and the ants. In the Gita, Lord Krishna has affirmed that he embodies himself and incarnates among men in order to fulfill the task of dharma sthapana. The assurance then, the fulfillment now. Let us keep our eyes open and bright to bear witness to the wonders of the Advent. Many a sadhaka and seeker has announced the deep desire that he should remain an ant, tasting the sugar that is God, grain by grain. He does not like to become the sugar which does not know its taste itself. When someone prayed to Baba that he reduce the number of days when he's away from Prashanti Nilayam on tour, he replied, "Yes, you think it is more appropriate than the ants come to the sugar, but consider this: how can the poor, the sick, the aged, and the infirm for whom I have come travel to Prashanti Nilayam? I must go near them and speak to them so that they may make their own homes and hearts the Nilayam of Prashanti." This, then, is the reason why Baba moves wherever mercy takes him and agony draws him. As described in the first part of this book, Baba returned from Badrinath on the 3rd day of July 1961. Speaking about the journey to Badrinath, to a gathering at Bukapatnam near the Nilayam, Baba said, "We saw thousands of old and decrepit men and women besides others, stronger and younger, braving the cold and hunger, the storm and rain, the risky landslides on the road, trudging along regardless of the coast and distance to get a glimpse of Narayana instilled there. When in Ayodhya, I could see and sense the constant recitation of Ramanama by almost all people there. I am often asked where Dharma has taken refuge in this iron age. Well, Dharma is still flourishing in the hearts of these thousands, I reply. Baba left for Mysore city during this month end for the devotees there wanted him to be with them for Guru Purnima, the full moon dedicated to worship of one's spiritual preceptor. That evening, he reminded a gathering of 20,000 that Mysore was famous for the fragrance of its sandalwood and the musical attainment of its people. But I want the fragrance of prema to fill each act of yours. I want the harmony and melody of music to permeate every sprout of thought, every tendril of emotion, every bud of speech. The Guru is adored in India as a physician who corrects vision with the medicated unguent called jnana. He cures other diseases too, diseases which afflict the mind and wrap the judgment, like the jaundice and malice, the anemia of envy, the fever of greed, and the paralysis of hate. You must seek a guru who can diagnose correctly and prescribe both the drug and the regimen. You should submit to both with care and faith. If a human preceptor is not available, prayer will induce the Lord within to awaken and guide. Referring to the panic that was fanned by the astrologers of the East and West over the ominous conjunction of 8 planets between the 2nd and 5th days of February 1962, he explained that they would only appear as conjoined along a line and that there was no reason for fear. Many are advising you to win the favor of the gods so that they may spare you from calamity. Many are collecting funds to perform rites which can ward off the fire and fury which are predicted. I do not object to prayer or to the rites, for they are good in themselves, apart from the planetary phenomenon. But do not be misled into inviting terror into your hearts. There will be no convulsion in nature, no tornado, no or torrential flood, no damage to earth or sky. The only calamity that will take place in the feature of deposit money by a number of defeated candidates contesting the general elections that month. During the fateful week, Baba was a tower of strength for millions in panic. He allayed the fear aroused by the soothsayers of many lands. Lavagnani, the Mexican astrologer quoted by the Illustrated Weekly of India, wrote, "It may be particularly unsafe on those first days of February to travel either by air or sea, and even in some places to sleep in a house." An Indian astrologer with a vast American clientele wrote, "A very severe type of earthquake and severe cold waves will happen as a result of February 62 combination. Civil strife, radical tensions, um, military crisis, political upheavals, famines. These were predicted by popular prognosticators, both scientific and unscientific, in almost all lands. Many people came over to Prashanti Nilayam to be in that haven of peace during the critical week. Experiencing his love and grace that gave courage and strength, many devotees were tempted to believe another and smaller group of astrologers who drew other conclusions. Bellairs of Johannesburg, the planetary situation may refer to the coming of the new world teacher, either his birth or his entry into the ministry. There was also the widely publicized statement of A.N. Chandra. This unique configuration may even indicate the advent of a great religious leader who will bring solace to the distressed and harassed people of the modern world. They knew that the new world teacher had come and had entered upon his ministry. They knew that Baba was granting solace to the distressed and harassed people of the modern world. He was, in fact, announcing it as the task for which he has come. From Mysore, Baba went into the wildlife sanctuary called Abhayaranyam, the forest where there is no fear. Baba loves to meet the denizens of the forest, for they too are his children, creeping, crawling, trailing, walking, flying from birth to birth towards his feet. Before a fortnight was over, he was at Hyderabad for a short visit, and from there he motored 600 long miles to Udumalpet to bless a hospital and a college. Returning via Madurai, he reached Uttakamand, the crest jewel of Nilgiris, queen of Indian hill stations, where preserved still both simplicity and spiritual sanity. They had Baba with them on the Krishna Janmashtami, the birthday of Krishna, who is adored and loved in India by every philosopher and pandit, by every seeker and saint. Baba told the gathering that Krishna was the very embodiment of prema, that the word meant he who attracts and draws the mind towards him. He reminded them that whoever adores Krishna must cultivate this love. Krishna also means to plow, to plant and grow. So every person who reveres Krishna must plow the field of his heart, remove the weeds of passion, sow the seeds of love, and foster the plants with vigilant care until the blossoms of seva, loving service, yield the fruits of ananda. Dasara 1961, which came soon after, was memorable for many reasons. On the very first day, Baba gave a glimpse of his glory when he announced, "You have read that the Lord saved Draupadi from humiliation, Gajendra from the quagmire, Arjuna from defeat, Ahalya from petrifaction, Dhruva from ignominy, and Prahlada from annihilation. You do not know of countless other acts of grace. Similarly, for every act of grace which you know this form has done, there are thousands you do not know. Rama was the embodiment of Satya and Dharma, Krishna of Shanti and Prema. Now, when skill is skipping faster than self control, when science laughs at sadhana, when hate and fear have darkened the heart of man, I have come embodying all the four. I have come equipped with no limitations to help you contact me and derive benefit from my coming. I manifest such powers as will help me to confer the benefits I have planned for you, the boons you deserve. In a short time, within years, the number of which can be counted on the fingers of one hand, you will see here the suffering, the aspiring, and the inquiring from every part of this world. The number will be so large that the sky alone can be the roof to shelter them. Another day, 21st October, he announced that the mission of the revival of Dharma for which he has come has begun. Until now, it was in preparatory stage. From now on, the work will proceed without slackening speed. It is now for you to share in this campaign for the liberation of man from ignorance. In no previous era have men got so many and so clear intimations of the advent of the avatar as now. On 23rd November 1961, during the birthday celebrations, the book Sathyam Shivam Sundaram was written in English, of which this is the second volume. The first full length biography of Baba was reverentially placed at his feet by me, whom he graciously chose as the instrument for the task. Baba said, "You might wonder why I permitted the publication of a book on my life. Ramayati iti Rama. He who gives joy is Rama. The joy surging in all devoted hearts is the joy that pleases the Lord. The joy of the Lord is the reward that the devoted heart seeks. I responded to the prayer of devotees and allowed him to write it. The title Satyam Shivam Sundaram speaks of me as eminent in every one of you. For Satyam is truth. You resent any imputation of untruth. The real you is Satyam. How then will you accept any other appellation? So too you are Shivam, joy, happiness, contentment, auspiciousness. You are not Shivam, dead, miserable, weak. You are Shivam. Again, the real you is Sundaram, beauty, harmony, melody, symmetry. You resent, and very naturally, when you are described as ugly, you when you are described as ugly. You are the Atma, which is entangled in the body, a wave of Satyam, Shivam, and Sundaram, playing on the ocean of Satyam, Shivam, and Sundaram, which is the Lord. Getting to know me through this book, or more clearly through the book of your own experience, is part of the destiny of mankind today. Each one of you has to be saved. I shall not give you up, even if you keep afar. I shall not forsake even those who deny me. I have come for all. Those who stay away and those who stray away will also be drawn near and saved. Do not doubt this. I shall beckon them and bless them. Do we need any clearer intimation than this about His grace and His divinity? After the birthday celebrations, Baba left for the village of Repale in Guntur district to install a marble idol of his previous appearance in the temple there. Baba had installed such idols in a few places previously at Madras and Coimbatore and at the Ayodhya ashram near Madanapalli. At Madras, where he had sanctified the temple at Kindi in his 22nd year, the Bhakta who built the temple, washed and worshipped his feet, wanted an impression of the feet on a piece of silk cloth in sandal paste. Baba said, I shall give you the feet of Sai Baba, my previous body. And lo, the impression that the silk cloth received from those lovely tender feet of his was that of the pair of feet nearly double the size of Baba's and definitely that of a person above 60 years of age. The silk cloth with the sandal paste impression that he gave was so miraculously to prove that he was the same Baba come again is there inside the shrine at Gundi for all to see. No wonder the people of Repale were elated. When Baba agreed to install himself in the temple they built, no wonder too that hundreds of thousands converged on the place to get the darshana of Baba. The idol had to be brought to the bungalow where he stayed for the where he stayed for the darshan of Baba. Where he stayed for the roads that led to the temple were too thickly packed. While the initial rites were gone through, Baba created a charming little golden idol of Sai Baba and placed it on the head of the idol. Late at night, when the roads became negotiable, the idol was taken into the temple. Baba placed the golden statue in a cavity on the floor, and over it, he wanted a marble slab to be drawn. The idol was installed on the slab. Thus, the mysteriously created golden image became the unseen but potent source of grace in that temple, just as the linga which Shankaracharya placed was the source of the potency of Narayana at Badrinath. Baba reminded the thousands who had gathered to listen to his words. The idol is only a container. The thing contained is Sai Tattva, which is the divine essence. Pour that essence in this container. It is called Sai Baba. Pour it in another, it is Srinivasa, Shiva, Krishna, or Rama. You should now infuse the marble with your faith and devotion and make it live. Having installed Sai in your village, install him in your hearts on the altar of Prema, for Sai is Prema Swarupa. Sai is not a temple dweller, he dwells only in hearts. Baba, by his sweetness and universal love, entered the hearts of all the thousands who milled around him for darshan. Many who could then touch the hem of his silken gown will remember it for years. Um, Om Shri Sairam. Thank you all for joining us today. We look forward to coming together again next Tuesday at 8 p.m. And I'm sorry, let us end this blessed session with Sai Gayatri and Samastalokana. ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात् ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात् ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति